Hello. Oh, damn. Well, that's a fun way to start. It's not a good day unless you forget to do something like turn on your mouth tracking. There we go. Hello, it's Honi Hachiman, and I am here again. It is a happy Thursday. You can't stop me. It's almost the weekend. And I have been reading and trying to watch The Detective is Already Dead, and it has been quite a ride. I've got my coffee here. I've got the whiskey in the background, ready if I really feel like I need it. But today I've constructed a PowerPoint, and we're gonna go over the characters, some of my thoughts, some of where I think this is going, and I'll tell you this: when I was reading the book, I thought that, wow, this is pretty much a whole story. Like, if this were a one-shot, I think it would be fine. So I was thinking, but there's a lot here. And that I think that the finale of the book would make an excellent ending to an anime season. Well, guess what? That volume did not cover the first 6 episodes. It covered episodes 1 through 4, and then 9 through 12. So that already turns on its head what I'm looking at talking about today. I will say that I haven't watched all of it. It was when I got to episode 4, and after episode 4, where it was like, all right, this is completely new, I realized that they pulled something from the future in the story, and that already throws the order further out the window. But it's all fun. I did not watch the episodes that I haven't read because, based on the artwork at the start of Volume 2, it is going to be Volume 2, so I would actually be spoiling myself to watch those episodes. If some of the questions that I pose or answers that I speculate are covered in those episodes, well, take it with a grain of salt, because I could already see by looking at Wikipedia that those episodes are a flashback arc with the detective being alive. So that's already different from much of the rest of the story. Yeah. So watching the show and reading the book are pretty different experiences. I think that for some things the plot points are similar enough that they can be taken one for one. Like, I think that you could watch season 1 of the anime and probably jump into volume 2 of the light novel without difficulty. Yeah. So to begin with, let's look at the beginning. So the first thing that I found especially interesting when comparing the light novel to the anime was how they started. Because we'll start with the less revealing one. So in the book, you have your first scene where you've got your main character, teenage boy, on an airplane, and somebody is like, "Is there a detective on the plane?" And he's like, "There's no way that's right. Why would they ask for a detective? They should be asking for like a doctor or something." And then the girl who he had previously not noticed was sitting in the seat next to him just stands up and goes, "I'm a detective." And he's just like flabbergasted. But then he's also like enraptured by her beauty. And then it cuts. In the book, it cuts. So from there, you go to where you first meet the same teenage boy, just sitting in a classroom, minding his own business after school, probably just spacing out or sleeping. I don't recall which, but in any case, he's in an empty classroom by himself. And then let me stand further back so I can get my hand tracking working. All right, so for the uninitiated, on the left side of the screen, this is Siesta. That's a name we're gonna hear. On the right, come on, hand, be a hand. There we go. On the right, we have Nagisa. And so you're also going to see her, like, all the time. Siesta's the detective. She's the girl on the plane who says, "I'm a detective." And Nagisa is a high school girl who Kimihiko, the main character, the teenage boy, does not recognize. She just storms into the classroom and asks, "Are you the legendary detective?" and naturally, Kimihiko, well, we'll go with Kimmy. That's what he ends up going by for short. He just pretty much goes, "Huh?" And she's like, I know no better. I do know better. And she, like, dumps out, like, a whole bag full of news articles about his exploits. And he's like, "Oh, well, it's too bad I'm not the detective." And then she, when he opens his mouth, she shoves her hand in his mouth and grabs him by the uvula. Which, really, I've not seen a scene, for, like, two main characters meeting that had such a strong impression. I think like the only thing I can compare it to is Bakemonogatari when Senjo Gahara and Araragi meet for the first time, where Senjo Gahara just, like, puts a stapler inside and over Araragi's cheek and threatens to staple him. Yeah, so we've got some violence implied here, but yeah, she's like, "I know who you are. You're the whatever boy K or A or whatever it is, whatever they put in the newspaper, because they can't put a minor's name out there." But yeah, that's her storming in, and then, like, she does an immediate 180 and just, like, hugs his head to her chest. And so it's like she's gone from like violence to sweet real fast, and then she asks for his help. And so, like, that's your first scene, and we're also going to call that case 1. Case 1 is what she presents. Now let's skip back to the beginning here, because from the "yes, I'm a detective," you get a whole 45-minute episode starring Siesta. Yeah. So we're going to continue with case 1, because that's the less revealing of the two. Like, I think that the anime was kind of exposition heavy, like, early on, as far as, like, Siesta and Siesta's background. So, like, the case that Nagisa presents to Kimmy is that she is looking for someone, but she doesn't know who she's looking for. She wants Kimmy to figure out who she is looking for. Take that in, and go and give the same look as Kimmy, which is, huh? So like, she does mention when they do discuss this a little further. Nagisa does mention that up until a year ago, she was pretty much hospital bound, that she was in and out of the hospital all the time, very unhealthy, until she got a heart transplant. And it was when she got this heart transplant that she started having these inclinations, these urges to find this person. But she has no clues on who the person is. And so Kimmy brings up memory transference. I didn't. If I had taken more time, I would have looked up if there is a real world, or if there are real world examples of memory transference. In this case, he explains memory transference to be people who are recipients of transplants, that they will sometimes take on the preferences, like food preferences and stuff, of people, of their donor. That like they might suddenly start liking or disliking a type of food. They might start having like memories of places that they've never been. Kind of like goes kind of pseudoscience on that one. But in any case, that is what Kimmy assumes. That is what he assumes is going on here. And so he calls in a favor. Let's see. I think it's done a little differently in the anime than it is in the book. In the anime, somebody tries to steal Kimmy's bag, and he catches the bag napper like by the wrist immediately. And Kimihiko's big gimmick here is that he is profoundly unlucky, that he can't go anywhere without an incident being involved. Like he will run into drug deals, robberies, anything. Up until they get to like the ludicrous statistic that like in their city, he is at least like cited or in some way tangentially involved in the act and or resolution of like 70% of all reported crime. Which naturally makes him a big person of interest for the police. So from there we meet another character. Let's see, she has her own slide over here. We have Fubi Kase. On the right is the light novel artwork. On the left is how she looks in the anime. And she is a police inspector. And that she and Kimmy go back. And that the history explained was that Kimmy is that detective's assistant. And so in the anime, she shows up in the resolution of the bag napping, and it's like, oh, it's you again. And so they take him in for questioning, the aftermath, the whole police business bit. In the book, Kimmy voluntarily goes to the police. Like, when talking with Nagisa about how to resolve or how to find her missing person, of course, like from memory transference, they go to well, we need to find out who the donor was, and so Kimmy says, well, we're going to go see the police. And Nagisa's like, well, why don't we see the hospitals and medical professionals and all that? And he's like, yeah, but I have no contacts with them. and so they go and have like have a little meeting with Fubi to go like, hey, can you help us figure out who the donor of Nagisa's heart was? And she's like, what do you think I am? I'm a police officer. and Kimmy's response is, but you're also you. Meaning that she is, we'll do Sundre count 1. That she is abrasive, and she acts annoyed, but she is also very helpful. Pretty much no matter what the scenario is, she kind of bends over backwards to help, but she will never admit it. So she says that she has a job over at the big house, which of course, like in American slang, would be prison. And she's like, you guys can come along. And so Nagisa and Kimmy go to jail. They go to the prison with her, and she says, "Who you want to see is down there. You'll have 20 minutes while I do what I need to do." And then Nagisa and Kimmy, they go down go down to like the lower levels of the prison until they find like a sensory deprivation cell. And let's see, I don't remember the exact words when they opened the door. I know it was very similar in the anime, but yeah, they get to the sensory deprivation cell, which is just a normal cell in the anime. But yeah, so they more or less open like a window so that they can see and talk to who's inside, and they see this man. This man. His name is codename Bat, and so as far as the books go, this is their first meeting and first time that Bat appears. And he's like, "Oh, it's you." "And you were Watson, right?" Something like that. And from there, we can circle all the way back to the start of the anime. Because their first encounter with Bat was on the airplane. and so we go back. Remember that Kimmy is somewhat enthralled by this beautiful white-haired girl, Siesta. And all of these, I'm having the light novel art on the right and the anime artwork on the left. So he asks, "What's your name?" And then she just ignores him and goes, "You're gonna be my assistant." It's like, not an ask, it's a tell. "You're gonna be my assistant." And so they both end up being led to the cockpit of the plane, where they meet Bat, who is just all smug and smiles, sitting on the co-pilot's back, who's still on his seat. And he's like, "Hey, I've got a game for you. Tell me why I hijacked this plane, or all 600 passengers are gonna die." And Siesta keeps a very cool face about this. Kibby is quite flabbergasted once again that he's like, "Whoa, this is nuts." And Siesta asks, "So why did you hijack the plane?" And without even like pausing, Bat just says that he hijacked the plane because he was bored. and then Siesta turns it right back on him and goes like, "You hijacked this plane because you were bored. Final answer." Like no real emotion or variance to the voice. And I think that makes that kind of speaks to how Siesta operates. That she is very matter-of-fact, logical, and that's at least how she's portrayed compared to her primary comparison point, Nagisa. and so Bat goes like, "Well, you got me." And so he just like raises his hands and he just like walks out of the cockpit. And before he finally gets away, Siesta goes, "You're lying." And so the TLDR on that is that Bat was on orders by the organization to hijack this plane and die going along with it. And that one of several lies that Siesta dispels is that Bat really doesn't want to die. And so he was ready to fold immediately and use that the detective got me as his excuse. That's like couldn't be helped. Couldn't down the plane. The detective was too good. And but then he asks the question, how did you know all that? Like, how did you figure me out? And Siesta's MO comes out, which is that a true detective solves a crime before it occurs. So she came onto the plane full knowing that Bat was here, that a hijacking was going to take place, and that she had taken other measures necessary. And Bat going like, well, we can't have that. Like, one of the things that I do as an elite agent of the organization, is that I nip young talent before it becomes a real threat. And so then he has like what's a kind of like a giant tentacle that comes out of his ear that he uses to attack things, and that he says he can you can't hide from him. He can hear something as subtle as a heartbeat from 100 kilometers away. So yeah, there is no hiding from him. Oh, and I should circle back to why Kimmy is on the plane in the first place, because he doesn't want to be there. He got abducted off the street and was coerced into taking a suspicious attaché case onto this airplane. And yeah, he is very grudgingly doing this, just like cursing his fate, that he is just like incident prone, like all the time. So let me see. We are still talking beginnings here. Well, no, we're kind of transitioning into the next bit. But I guess I'll wrap up my first topic of the beginnings being like, you have a full like 45-minute extra long episode devoted to a character that you're told in the title of the show is already dead. But it does go above and beyond in endearing Siesta to the audience immediately. That she's cute, she can fight, she has extraordinary intelligence, and that they even go so far as to have her wear a wedding dress and solve a crime after a lovey-dovey date at a school festival. So, like, and as a book reader, and this goes all the way up to where I've read, that whole, like, well, we'll talk about that a little later. So, yeah, you've got that versus Nagisa being the main character. So when I've only watched, like, before coming to the book, I'd only watched, like, the first couple episodes, and I think that it was really jarring to go from that first episode, where at the very end of the first episode, I think Kimmy finishes it by going, but the detective is already dead. And that this is like, the whole meeting Nagisa and all that is like a year after Siesta's passing. But yeah, I think that it is interesting direction that the anime went really hard on, like, selling Siesta as the main character. And in a lot of ways, like, she is relevant consistently, but she's not a living character. Nagisa is more or less like the female lead of the show, and she doesn't appear at all the way up until, like, her looking at her phone for like a couple seconds after the credits of the first episode. So yeah, we go to Bat because we are talking about the Batman, and we are still on the airplane, where he's like, well, I've got to kill you now. And Siesta more or less pushes Kimmy aside, takes a lash to the arm, starts bleeding, and after some dodging and all that, she's like, man, if I had a weapon, I could fight back. And Kimmy's like, just like his thoughts actually start working for like the first time proactively, that he's like, I know my bad luck well enough. That attaché case has to have something. And so he's like, buy me 30 seconds. And so Siesta does just that. She's dodging continuously because that's all she can do. And Kimmy gets all the way back to his seat, grabs the attaché case, and he runs back towards Siesta, flings it, still doesn't know what's inside of it. Bat's like, nuh-uh, and breaks the case with his ear tentacle. And this very brilliant, I wish I took a picture of it. Like, you see the muzzle of it in the picture here. Let's, yeah, come on, yeah. Make this big movement work for me. Come on. Yeah. So you've got the muzzle of that currently in Bat's mouth, and yes, that is Siesta's foot on top of him. But yeah, she gets like this brilliant silver musket, because that's what it is. It's a musket, and she of course has like a cool anime fight with him where she blasts the tentacle off at its root on his ear, and pushes Bat to the ground, stuffs the muzzle of the gun in his mouth. She moves to pull the trigger and says, bang, you're dead. You died here. And from there, Bat gets taken into Japanese police custody, and ever since then he has been in the jail cell at the big house. And so after the whole like recollection of their first meeting, Kimmy asks the question that he meant to ask like all along, which is, do you know whose heart this is? Because the implication being, if he can and will hear hearts from a long time or a long distance away, actually, I think this was Fubi's logic, and Kimmy understood it. I don't think that she told him, but he understood it. Which is that if he's heard the heart before, he might recognize it. And he's like, well, of course I recognize that heart. In fact, I thought it was her. And sure enough, the heart inside of Nagisa is Siesta. And the mysterious person X that she wanted to meet was Kimihiko, her old assistant. And with that is the end of the first case. Honestly, I kind of like the pacing of the novel a little better, because in the anime they don't even get to this case yet. This is just like the end of the airplane is like halfway through the episode. They go through the whole other like lovey-dovey school date, the whole bit about Siesta trying to convince Kimihiko to be her assistant, and he really doesn't want to. Getting further ahead to where I've read, that whole arc is the beginning of the second volume, so they pulled that all the way to the beginning of the anime just to have like a very large Siesta-heavy episode. But I did like I think that they both have their merits. I think that the action was sold a lot better in the anime visually than the descriptions in the novel did. I think that like it was pretty cool. But I do like the pacing that you first encounter Bat as a mysterious man in a prison cell, think like going to see Hannibal Lecter for advice. but that it's only at that point where you get the whole hijacking story, plane hijacking story. So before they even finish having this whole day, they're back at the station, ready to go home, and Kimmy's walking away, and there's a tug at the back of his shirt, and he turns around to find out that it's not Nagisa that is telling him to wait. It is a middle school girl, Yui Saikawa, who says that she needs an ace detective. Because of course she does. And that, at least in the anime, that is the end of episode 2. That Yui appears, and yeah, it's more or less the same in the novel. But Yui says that she has a case for a great detective. And she also, like, while they're still there in the street, passersby and everything, even though she's wearing, like, the hoodie disguise, she goes, I'm like Japan's biggest idol. Biggest middle school idol. And says her name and all of it. And, like, yeah, Kimmy tries to shut her up, holds his hands over her mouth and all that. And the anime did something that was absolutely great, which was that they panned up to a big screen at the station to show us idol news, to tell us who Yui Saikawa is. And we see some familiar faces, some cameos in the show that really caught me off guard when I saw it. I don't watch Hololive, but I do play Holocure, and I certainly know who Shirakami Fubuki and Natsuhiro Matsuri are. I recognize them immediately as Hololive talents, and yeah, they host the Idol News, which more or less goes like, yeah, Yui Saikawa was like been famous for like 3 years, biggest star, middle school, and all that. But yeah, that was a bit of fun, good cameo. And while putting together the PowerPoint, I did come across a piece of art. I hope it's not AI generated because it is very cool. It wasn't credited where I found it, but I did put the link for it on here. But it's Siesta and Nagisa as Fubuki and Matsuki. Matsuki, is that her name? Surely, Matsuri. Yeah. They're going to nail me to a cross. Any of the Hololive faithful. No, if any case, like I really do need to see more Hololive because what I have seen and of the talents that I do know, they are very good. I will say that like there is a Hololive guy that I do take inspiration from. Not in like the ways of wanting to be him, but like that I think that he has a good energy. Is Machina X Flayon. He's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah. So we go with continuing Yui's case. So Yui says that she received a calling card, a la Phantom Thief style, that a thief is going to steal a 3 billion yen sapphire from her family on the night of her big concert. And that I think that it was portrayed better in the anime. So to describe the case, she does bring them to her mansion, and so at the table they are discussing it, and Kimmy brings up. I think it's Kimmy who brings up the very logical point. You have a lot of security are you sure you need us? Because she is specifically asking them to guard the safe on the night of the concert. And yeah, that already seemed strange to me, and I think that it certainly seemed strange to Kimi Hiko as well. But she says that the reason that the guards can't watch the safe is because her security personnel are also her biggest fans. And in the anime, they switch to full fan garb, doing poses behind her and stuff. And yeah, great effect. I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm crazy about the middle school idol concept. I think that the idol tropes in an anime are fine. I just don't think that it's necessarily something that quite translates to U.S. stardom. Yeah, so I understand it as an outsider. I understand it, but I do think that the whole young idol business is kind of creepy, kind of gross, but it is what it is as far as tropes go. Yeah, so in the prep work, there is 1 week until the concert, and we need to take a step back here because we missed a character development point for Nagisa, because when leaving the big house, they do see Fubi again, and they do present it differently in the anime and the books. So in the anime, Fubi goes, well, you know whose heart that is, but I'm not going to ask you to be a detective. No, that's a lot. I'm not going to ask you to do that. In the book, Kimi has to talk Fubi down from trying to encourage Nagisa to take on the role of the ace detective. Kimi had already passed on the title of ace detective. He's like, I am always going to be an assistant. That's it. I'm not going to do any more than that. I'm going to be the assistant. But Nagisa, she kind of clings to the idea very quickly, kind of concerningly quickly, naively quickly. And so she commits to being the ace detective, and this is pretty much immediately before Yui stops them at the station, so we're not going back very far. But yeah, Yui's like, I've got this heart, gave me life, and now it's going to give me purpose. So she says that she's going to be the great detective, or the ace detective. And so, as a great ace detective, she doesn't know what to do. She's a complete novice. And that Kimi goes full research mode, and by full research mode, he goes off the deep end on being an idol fan. He does all the cringe stuff. He has watched every concert. He's wearing the happy. He's got the headband. He's got the glow sticks, and he convinces Yui to let them watch the practice concert before the night before the main event, because they're going to miss it the next day because they're going to be at the mansion. And so Kimi is knowledgeable to the point of knowing abbreviations for songs and knowing normal set list orders and stuff, and Nagisa just has this judgmental cringe look the whole time she is with him, and I think that just elevates it significantly. that whole her level of disgust couldn't be conveyed well enough in book form. In the anime, it was quite good. But at the concert rehearsal, there is a suspicious man who goes to tackle Yui from the side, and security takes care of it and all that. Yui's unharmed, all well and good and fine. And from there, that concludes the rehearsal. From here, we're going to get a little less clear on what episode we're in, because I think that the last episode that I watched was 4. And so 4 is like the conclusion of this arc. But I think that would probably be about where the episode break would be. So in the following episode, they're going to have the concert, but Kimi and Nagisa are like on the way to Tokyo Dome, or whatever the equivalent is in this in this city, and Nagisi's like, "Why are we going to the concert?" And Kimi's like, "Yeah, the pretty much a hunch that he understands that the real robbery is going to be at the concert." And so at the concert, it's a big deal. The whole house is packed. You've got all the glow sticks. You've got all the cheering, the noise, and everything. And Kimi has either his phone or an earpiece, something that lets him communicate on the outside. Bat drove them here, and he's kind of on standby on the outside. And I'm not sure that it was adequately explained why he was let out of prison, because I don't think he's being supervised. I don't think. Like, when he was in prison, like, I think it's pretty obvious in the books that he's kind of got, like, glaucoma or something like it, where, he's like, significantly lost his vision. But yeah, so they've kind of got Bat on standby on the outside as a kind of ally. But they're like, well, we need to find the culprit. But this concert, it's too loud, it's too packed. It's like, well, we got the tour yesterday. Let's get up on the stage. And so they make their way to the wings of the stage, and Kimi has watched enough of the concerts and stuff to know that there is one particular song where she lifts up her eye patch, and that is what he is banking on being the target of the culprit. Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll get to it in a second, but I know that absolutely Fubi is not there monitoring Bat. So Kimi and Nagisa, they are on the stage. Kimi is phoning Bat because it's like, can you identify the culprit? There are too many people here. It's too noisy. And with Bat's help, they do identify that the culprit is in the audience, and he has a crossbow. He's like way up front. And so when Yui lifts her eye patch to reveal her mystic eye, her heterochromia, what have you, Kimi tackles her in time to stop the crossbow bolt from going right where her eye would have been. And from there, the situation gets handled. On the back end, Fubi and a team of police were in the family safe, which was rigged up and down with explosives. And that only tells you just what exactly Yui had in mind for Nagisa and Kimi. A safe full of explosives. So in the green room, they more or less go like, well, we just saved the day. You're safe. Your murder didn't happen. And that we've got the one of them gets the phone call from Fubi that all the explosives are disarmed, and I don't recall who draws first. It had to have been Kimi drawing first, but he draws a gun from his bag, and when he points the gun at Yui is pointing a gun right back at him. And Nagisa is completely confused, goes like, what are you doing? What are both of you doing? And really what it amounts to is blackmail. Because in this standoff, Yui does explain that her eye under the eye patch is it is a prosthetic. It's a glass eye, but it's also given her the ability to see through solid objects with it, which Kimi was already had already worked out because he had identified many places, including where the suspicious man at the rehearsal tried to get her, that she had no sensory loss in things coming from her left, that she had none of the impairments that you would normally expect with someone with one eye or an eye patch. And that, among other things, was what led him to believe that Yui did in fact want to kill them. Because not only did they find out that her claim that she had brought the calling card to the police, but that they would not act on it because it was only a threat and not an action, was in fact false. Fubi confirmed that she had never gone to the police. So in this standoff, where Kimi and Yui are like, yeah, we're gonna have to kill each other. I mean, there's no way out of this. Like, one of us is trying to kill the both of you, and Kimi is trying to protect both himself and Nagisa. And so Nagisa, she shows some of her talent here, which is that she has a talent for impassioning people, motivating people, like stirring them when they otherwise wouldn't stir. Supernatural or not, she just has a talent for it, and that Kimi has more or less reasoned out that Yui was blackmailed. Yui was blackmailed about her eye, because her eye is, one, the source of that ability, but two, it was the only... It is the memento of her parents that perished 3 years before and left her the sole surviving member of her estate. So the actual gem that was threatened was in fact her eye, and not the miracle sapphire that was in the family safe. But the blackmail, of course, came from this may or may not have been the first mention of them in the book and or anime, which is Spes, the name of the organization. Spes, S-P-E-S, in all caps. And it is, what is it? It's Italian or Latin for hope. But yeah, it is the organization that Bat was from, and that their MO seems to be modifying humans into pseudo-humans, like Bat's ear. Like we will encounter some other characters that have other body augmentations like that, but how do we put this? Kimmy more or less sees it as they want to study her. They want to study what makes her abilities work, how they work, that or destroy the eye, one or both, because that's an MO that we will see later as well. That if they can't obtain something, they will destroy it. So Nagasi's like, well, they're after us too. We're pretty much the same. Why don't we just be friends? Stronger together and all that. And her emotional appeal does strike, and from there they are now friends. So now, yeah, Yui, Nagisa, and Kimmy are friends. They never bring it up, but it did not escape me that Kimmy's name is Kimihiko Kimizuka, which even just like in Romanized like this, he does have Kimmy to his name. And then you go over to Nagisa, and her name is Nagisa Natsunagi, so you've got Nagi. I can only imagine that was intentional, whether to make the name. I don't think anybody calls her Nagi at any point. Like, they do the normal thing of calling them by last names, so most of the time she goes by Natsunagi. Yep, and of course Kimmy goes by Kimizuka when people talk to him. Yui goes by well, Kimmy calls her Saikawa, but of course Yui is her stage name as well. So Yui is a household name. Bat is Bat. I don't think you ever hear a real name. Siesta explains that Siesta is a code name when she introduces herself, and that Kimmy goes, like, a code name? And she's like, yeah, everyone has one. It's like, no, they don't. Yeah. So from here we can get into what I actually put on the slide, other than Yui knocking herself on the head cutely. I'm getting too far away from the phone for my mouth tracking. So, how does Yui fit in? Because Nagisa, Kimihiko, and your fourth main character all have direct ties to Siesta. Yui does not. Now, seeing as Yui has an artifact that that Spess is interested in, and that Kimmy worked that out pretty fast. And if we're going to go by timelines here, Yui received her her gift from her parents around 3 years ago when they died. Kimmy met Siesta 4 years ago on the airplane. And that 3 years later, Siesta died, and it's been 1 year. So I think that it's entirely plausible that if they didn't with how convenient some of these connections are, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Kimmy flashback at some point where they have seen the origin of this eye or something. Something that eye may have something to do with Siesta. and this also goes to like I've since dispelled this thought, but when I watched the like first two episodes, like when the show came out originally, uh, I was having the fun concept, and it would probably still be fun to flesh out as a concept, that all of the people that Kimmy meets would in some way have part of Siesta's body in them. Like, you know, if like Nagisa had the heart, Yui had one of Siesta's eyes, and like other characters might have like, I don't know, her like ankle. I think that would be kind of, surely there's something where like some powerful entity or hero person or something, and that they get like divvied up when they die, and that people use parts of them. Surely there's something like that. Nothing comes immediately to mind, but I think that that's kind of fun, especially if it's used for comedy rather than something macabre. Yeah, but at least as far as the book goes and going all the way through Volume 1, Yui is the only character that does not have a direct tie to Siesta. The closest it gets is that they had the same evil organization targeting them. So, I think that talking about the timeline actually makes a lot of sense for the next slide, and I apologize, but this is the last actual picture that I put in the slideshow before I started hustling before stream. So Kimmy before and after. He has character growth. Because like there's a few before and afters for Kimmy. Like, you get to see it at different points. I don't know if it's in the anime at all, but there is a flashback of him and Siesta traveling in I don't recall how far back, but it's sometime during their travels that they are on a tropical place, traveling to a mansion to pursue what they are understanding to be a pseudo-human named Medusa, and that they travel to this distant mansion, and that they meet up with the mansion's owner, who is lamenting the how bedridden his daughter is, and that they let's see, he leaves the room for a little bit. Kimmy and Siesta banter. They always banter when they're together. They have the typical back and forth of just like good friends, not quite lovers, but definitely friends. And that they are always like taking jabs at each other and keeping it casual pretty much wherever they are. But I believe that Kimmy had said something suggestive or something, but when the mansion owner comes back in bringing drinks, like Siesta stomps on his foot, and he like Kimmy's foot. Kimmy just like falls and knocks over all the drinks and stuff. Is like, oh, I'm sorry, and gets cleaned up. He's like, why did you do that? And she's like, not the time. And so the mansion owner is like, well, would you all do me the favor of, like, seeing my daughter? And they're like, all right. And sure enough, the daughter is connected to some form of life support. But let's see, how does it go? Oh yeah, it's that Kimmy collapses. he collapses. He's been inhaling poison. And that Siesta was on it the whole time, and effectively jabs the mansion owner with his own poison, and shoots the window to release the gas. So it's like multiple levels of trying to poison them, including the drinks that were brought out, and Siesta had intentionally knocked Kimmy into them. And the real takeaway here is that, stupid Kimmy, you're not observant enough. You're not. And that is in stark contrast to what he is in the present. Because in the present, if nothing else, he's observant. He does a good job of taking in information and understanding it. And also, he carries around a gun in Japan, which is also kind of weird, but we'll roll with that. But yeah, so before and after meeting Siesta, so before he just like he's in constant misery over his misfortune. After spending 3 years with Siesta, he intentionally goes back to a very boring life, or as boring as he can get. He doesn't want any of the adventure anymore. He doesn't want to battle evil organizations. I mean, his bad luck still keeps up with him, hence all of the news stories and crime involvement and all that. But then it comes to Nagisa's talent. So we've got a before and after. Kimmy is more or less like, he's gone into retirement. He doesn't want to do anything related to the detective life that he once had, like, ever again. But Nagisa has kind of lit a fire under him. Her impassioned speeches and her just attempts to motivate him, whether or not he will admit it. Kimmy is like a really nice guy, and he will help people without them asking. This is displayed both in the anime and in the books that he won't admit it, but he will help anyone he can. But yeah, like Nagisa definitely gave him new life, in the same sense that like Siesta gave her new life. Yui's case I would call case 2. I called the books. The book kind of contains 3 cases in the first volume, so that's the end of the second case. Then, so we're gonna break from the anime here, and I will adjust the episode title accordingly. That I don't have StreamerBot open. My bad. So I'm going to have to change the title of the episode, because you know how I said that I felt like the novel would make like a good anime season in and of itself? It kind of does. Case 3 is the last arc of the anime. When I found out that like episode 5 was not anything I was familiar with, I stopped it. And I went to Wikipedia and just saw what the episodes were generally, and so we're gonna go to the end of season 1, and I will edit my video title, may even put a disclaimer at the very front. I actually meant to at the start that we would probably go to the end of season 1, but also that we're skipping a fair number of episodes that I know nothing about. So there's that too. So after the whole incident with Yui and the Sapphire and her eye and their whole standoff, and now that they're kind of in each other's company now, Yui apologizes and demonstrates her massive wealth by inviting Nagisa and Kimi on a cruise ship. Not just a cruise ship, but a cruise ship that her family owns and operates, and that they are going on a trip from Japan to somewhere in the Aegean Sea. So Aegean Sea, that's Aegean Sea is not Greece, is it? Where is Aegean Sea? Hang on. Aegean Sea. Yeah, I was right. It's Greece. Yeah, so they're going to Greece. Yeah. So, yeah, on the cruise ship, because they're just gonna have a good time. They're there to sightsee. They're gonna wear swimsuits. It's gonna be the beach episode and all that. No, wrong. No, it's not. They meet Kimmy's acquaintance. More than acquaintance. We meet Charlie. We meet Charlotte Arasaka Anderson. Charlie. Charlie was the apprentice of Siesta, whereas Kimmy was established as her assistant. So in a lot of ways, like, Charlie has like a one-sided rivalry with Kimmy that she openly berates him and stuff, and that she wants him to be better because he was who Siesta chose. And when they run into her on the cruise ship, she's like, "Oh, you must be here for it too." And they're like, "Here for what?" And she's like, "You don't know?" and so the knowledge that she drops is that part of Siesta's legacy is on this ship. So, Siesta's legacy. They're like, Kimmy's like, "Nah, don't want it, don't need it, nope." not getting involved. And Charlie's like, but you're, but you've done all this stuff. And she, like Nagisa, is pretty acutely aware of what he has been up to in his year of get my hands. In his year of retirement. She is also acutely aware of what he's been up to. And I think it might have been said, but I didn't quite get it. Or at least it didn't stick. But I think that Charlie is either associated with the police or the military or both. But she's somewhere in there. She's definitely the violent type. In contrast with her like Ojo-sama appearance. The is not her. No, she's more the pull a machine gun and shoot type. But yeah, in disgust, she leaves them and goes like, You're just here to fool around. Yeah. And so they let's see, how did it go from here? Let's see if it kills my face tracking, because I did take notes on my phone, naturally. It is killing my face tracking. All right. Let's see. Probably should have copied and pasted this elsewhere, but I did kind of synopsize what was going on. Let's see. She also berates Kimmy for not stepping up after Siesta's death. Yes. Ah, yes, that's where we were. We're back. All right. So, Yui is the guest of honor on this cruise ship, and she has to go and shake hands and make friendly in the evening, such as the cost of going on a free cruise is that she has to fulfill social obligations. Nagisa and Kimi, they are eating out at a fine restaurant. And of course, they talk about their situation and all that. And let's see. Kimi asks Nagisa if there is something that he can talk to her later about away from prying ears, and that they would go to like the bar across the street. And Nagisa takes it completely the wrong way. She stops eating. She leaves. She goes back to her room, gets all gussied, prettied up, and that what Kimi has to tell her is nothing close to what she had in mind. She was kind of expecting, I think, like big confession and all that. No, that didn't happen. Yeah, let's look at Nagisa again. Yeah, that's her, high school girl. Yeah, but yeah, from there they kind of go their separate ways, and by I don't think that it means a whole lot here, but Kimi does touch base with Charlie, and Charlie asks him if there is a way to get off the cruise mid-journey. And it is here that Kimi learns that Charlie is a stowaway. She did not pay for a ticket. She does not have a room on the ship. And she strongly requests that Kimi give her his room. And so he does have to ask Yui if he can stay in her room, and shenanigans. But naturally he is a high school boy protagonist. Nothing insidious about it or anything. But in the morning, they get woken up by a loudspeaker call asking if there is a detective. I think it's asking if there is a detective on the ship, and to report to the fifth floor lounge, something like that. And they go there, and they find a letter that says, bring Siesta's legacy to the deck at 8 p.m. or else. Yeah, where are we as far as my talking points slides go? Right. Yeah, we're on Siesta's legacy. Yeah, so it's at this point that they find out that Nagisa is missing. Nagisa's been kidnapped. Yeah, so from there they have no idea what Siesta's legacy is. They can't find Charlie. And so they spend the whole day using Yui's abilities to effectively scan everywhere on the ship that they can find. But Kimi more or less identifies that their opponent here is Chameleon, a pseudo-human that has the characteristics of a chameleon, being the optical camouflage, and of course that he has a reinforced tongue, kind of in the same way that Bat's ear tentacle was. Chameleon's tongue is like that. So they're like, yeah, we have no idea what the legacy is, so we're just going to manually search for Nagisa. They don't find her all day. Yeah, they just explore the ship, check literally everywhere that they can get to and see inside of using Yui's sight, but no luck on finding Nagisa or Chameleon. Maybe he doesn't recognize Chameleon at this point. Maybe he doesn't. Definitely recognizes it as the work of the organization, namely because they are also seeking out Siesta's legacy. But he does suss out that like them, whoever is looking for it also doesn't know what it is. So it was at this point that I started speculating. Well, how is Kimmy going to BS this? Is he going to bring something? Is he going to fake it? No. He plays it straight. So he goes up to the deck solo, and he goes to meet him, and yeah, he must not have recognized that it was Chameleon ahead of time, but he does recognize Chameleon when he does see him, and he's like, Chameleon says something along the lines that establishes that it was he who killed Siesta. And that Kimmy just straight up goes like, I don't have it. I don't know what the legacy is. and so Chameleon is like, well, shoot, I guess we're gonna do this the hard way. and so like he reveals that he is more or less like strangling Nagisa with his tongue, and that he's like, so it's the girl or the whole ship. Everybody on the ship. And that he more or less implies that no matter what happens, he's destroying this ship, because if they're not going to get the legacy, they're certainly going to destroy it. If the legacy's on the ship, he's going to destroy the ship. Put it on the bottom of the ocean where no one can get it. But man. So Kimmy does what any hot-blooded American would do and pulls his gun. And so he's got his sights set on Chameleon. Chameleon has Nagisa in a stranglehold, and not only does he do that, we're talking it's 8 o'clock at night, and as far as wherever they're at, it's already dark. And he is threatening to drop her in the ocean, where no one will be able to find or save her. Yeah, and so that's kind of in a rough place. But they do some reminiscing, they do some talking, and more of you let them go, or else. And upon buying enough, like, it's not enough time, because like Chameleon is acutely aware that like there's enough awareness that the boat is being evacuated, and he's pretty much goes like, no time. And let's see, Kimmy, how does he understand it? He does get a signal from Yui, or at least something that indicates that Yui is ready. And he shoots Chameleon's tongue off. Like, I'm not sure how you do that with a gun, like, specifically, especially if it's like a superhuman tongue. But yeah, he shoots the tongue off. Nagisa falls, but Yui, with help, is there to rescue. And so Kimmy and Chameleon are now in a full-on gun and tongue fight standoff with each other, all the way up until Kimmy runs out of bullets. And so he's there pulling the trigger on an empty gun, and Chameleon's more or less sealed the win. And then machine gun fire opens. I don't know how you sneak up on somebody with a helicopter, but they snuck up on Chameleon real bad with a helicopter. Charlie is up there. Charlie is firing the machine gun from the deck of a helicopter. Fubi is flying it. It's like, we are here to save the day. And Chameleon is, of course, like he is. He's significantly more pseudo-human than Bat was, and so like he, even though he's pinned down by gunfire, he's not dying to it. He's doing enough dodging and deflecting with his tongue. Up until the point where I believe it's that Charlie is reloading, that he pierces the gas tank of the helicopter with his tongue, forcing them to reduce altitude. and so now Charlie is continuing the suppression fire with the guns and stuff. Kimmy's just like kind of in a daze because he got his like ribs shattered. But yeah, typical anime thing, get your ribs shattered, but you know that in the next scene they're ready for the fight, right? So Fubi's flying the helicopter lower now, and they're having to do more of dodging the tongue. I believe how it goes is that either Charlie or Kimmy establishes that they're ready. It had to have been Kimmy because he's on the deck of the ship. Charlie takes Fubi's lighter and she lights up the deck of that ship. And Chameleon freaks out. He cannot handle the fire. His camouflage isn't working for the fire and all that. And so as any reasonable strong man would do if they're on fire, still getting shot at, and they're on the deck of a ship, they break through the deck of the ship, and they fall into a casino. Yeah, they fall into a casino. Kimmy kind of follows suit, gets away from the fire, and he's got no bullets in his gun. He's got no plan. But somewhere in his head, he's like, all right, this is a mano-a-mano fist fight we're having here. And so he winds up, he is ready to have a fist fight with this, like, super lizard man. And then a woman drops in and goes, "Stupid Kimmy," in a way that he remembers. He's like, what? It's Nagisa. But he can tell immediately that this isn't Nagisa. It's Siesta. And she's got her gun and stuff, and ready to go. And at this point, Chameleon doesn't even matter. It's that they are back together. They have some of their banter. They have a brief explanation that Nagisa had convinced Siesta to take over her body and save the day. More or less saying that I need you to do this for me now, one and only time, because the next time I'll be ready. Nagisa knows she doesn't have the abilities or the competency to save the day. But I don't know if there's limitations to this, but the way it was explained is that this is going to be a one-off. This will never happen again. And so they. Ooh, I did not explain one of the cool things that Siesta did on the airplane that also applies here. So, on the airplane with Bat, let's keep this on Siesta's legacy. Or actually, we can move on to Chameleon Ragebait because we are there. His whole bit is that he's like, I'm the one who killed Siesta. He does bad man type stuff. But it's like, I've kidnapped the girl. Now I'm gonna be a lizard monster, because he does transform a few times. He becomes like less and less human. He becomes I did see one screenshot from the anime. I didn't watch it, but he looks like full on T-Rex material. But what Siesta does on the plane is that when she shot Bat, she says that she shot him with a bullet made of her own blood. And that in doing so, they would be unable to harm her. So in that incident, like Bat had tried to have like a sneak attack with the tentacle like under the floorboards or whatever, but trying to stab Siesta in the back of the head, and that his tongue just like starts to evaporate. It cannot touch her. This is also demonstrated in proving that Nagisa's heart was Siesta's heart, because the same thing happens at the jail cell, is that he's like, I'll show you. And he tries to stab Nagisa with his tentacle, and tentacle can't even touch her. It just starts dissolving. Which I suppose brings up a real question here. Hadn't thought about this up till this point, but if Bat couldn't hurt Nagisa, why can Chameleon? Or rather, because when they position themselves around, or like they try to flank Chameleon, and Kimmy tries to lead the charge, and Siesta's like, "Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that? Because he can't hurt me, right?" He's like, "Oh yeah." Oh yeah, it's definitely been a while for him since he's fought with Siesta, but they at this point, Chameleon's kind of inconsequential. They more or less like talk about that this is the last time that they actually get to say their goodbyes this time, and they clean up Chameleon, and then the end of the book. At the end of the book, they flash back to Nagisa convincing Siesta, and it's more or less as described. There's been a couple times actually where Nagisa has described having internal conflict when trying to like communicate with Siesta's heart, and it's strangely worked in Nagisa's favor that her impassioned speech even reached somebody as cruel and logical as Siesta. To convince her to save the day even from beyond the grave. Yeah. So like one of the things that like you end up thinking about like more and more as the story goes is that Nagisa's strangely resolute about like what she chooses to do. It was almost like figuring out that she had the heart of a ace detective was almost an excuse, and she puts it like she was looking for an identity. Like it kind of comes across in their first meeting and everything that that she is rather blunt in how she approaches things. That her social skills could probably use work, but that she is more enthusiastic and passionate about doing the right thing than any of the other characters, I believe. But that even up when Fubi in the book was trying to more or less push Nagisa in the direction of being a detective, she was pretty receptive to it, and Kimmy was like, no, don't do that. I don't want to ride this rodeo again. And at some point Nagisa just understands. She says something. Her promise to Kimmy was different than Siesta's promise to Kimmy. Siesta's promise to Kimmy was that she would protect him. Like at the end of the line, like in the anime, that was her promise. Siesta was promised to protect Kimmy in spite of his problems, the problems that he attracts. And Nagisa says, I will never die and leave you alone. So it's like, it's pretty much the exact opposite. It's like, I'll protect you. No, I will stick around. I will be here. More or less implying, if one of us is going to go, you're going to go first. So that does make makes an interesting dynamic for the two of them, and I think that this is going to hold true with the books, that we're going to have. We're going to have things that call back to Siesta. We're going to have memories of Siesta and stuff. But at least the way things are pointing right now, I feel like Siesta's like active involvement probably won't happen again like it did in the fight against Chameleon. I don't think that's either it's not going to be possible, or it's not something she's willing to do. Because like that was part of the argument, was that it's like, I don't want to take over your body. This is you. This is your life. But yeah, Nagisa was ready to leave it all on the table and save the day, whatever it took. And so I am interested to see like whether what Nagisa does to become a stronger character is good. I have a feeling that if she doesn't get guidance on how to be a better detective, like in this case they're like using detective kind of loosely, like detective very much in the analyze and understand the situation, answer the question, but I think that the whole like physical strength and fighting stuff, like at least to me, that may play a role as a detective. I mean, like Sherlock Holmes can fight, but like that's not his go-to. That's not his go-to. I kind of feel like Nagisa's passion is going to continue to be her strong point, and it's probably going to guide how the group goes forward. Additionally, like I think that we're not done with Charlie. In fact, I think that Charlie's going to be a pretty present character. We could actually just like jump back a little bit. That Charlie and Kimmy are tsunderes. There's no question about it. That like Charlie will like hate on Kimmy all day, but she wants him to do better. Whereas Kimmy will swear up and down that he's not going to overstep his boundaries. He's going to live a calm and peaceful life as much as he is able, and but he will bend over backwards to help people. Like he didn't even, like, she didn't even have to ask. Nagisa did not have to ask for him to more or less stick with her in doing detective things. And I think that he did find some resolve again. Like he did go into a year-long depression hole after Siesta died, but I think that Nagisa really woke him up, and he's shaping up to be a fairly respectable main character. I think. Like I'm kind of curious to see how his growth goes as well. But I feel like even if she's not there all the time, I feel like Charlie will always be there to kick Kimmy in the ass when he's not doing enough, not doing everything that he should be. If he's ever like dragging his feet because he is just an assistant. Yeah. But I mean, like we saw him go above and beyond, especially in the last case. Well, actually, in the Yui case as well. That he went in deep on for Yui. He went in deep on the investigation, and that he was willing to firefight as need be. And in the third case, he was ready to fight. No backup required versus a pseudo-human by himself. I mean, like I think that that shows like tremendous growth from the start of the series, where he's just ready to rot. He doesn't want to do anything. so I'm glad that aspect of him has diminished quite a lot. That he's a lot more proactive now. I think that he still won't be like he's not true to himself when if he says anything about whether or not he cares about Nagisa, or if he cares what Charlie thinks. Yeah. I mean, Charlie is like simultaneously like Kimmy's biggest hater and biggest cheerleader. Like she will openly hate him. She's being full Sun on that one. But Kimmy's the same way. That yeah, you've got characters that say that they don't want to help, but they really do. I feel like really maybe one of the understated characters of the cast that we've looked at so far, because I didn't get any pictures of Chameleon. I don't know. He didn't have any promo art like they did for the rest of the characters here, but yeah, I don't know that there's much to say about Chameleon in his human form. Huh. Yeah, but I think that at least at this point, I think that we haven't seen the end of Bat. I feel like Bat is going to be like definitely an ally character. To what extent? it's hard to say, but he has been playing support so far. I mean, in the first case, he was offered expert advice on on identifying a heart. In the second case, he was the outside radio support. He, as far as I can recall, I don't think there was any indication that he was involved with the cruise liner at all. But to follow up on the aftermath of Chameleon and the cruise liner, that ship did go down. It did. So after that, they get a replacement cruise ship, but the ship is going back to Japan. They're not continuing their course. But yeah, that's where it leaves off when going to book 2. The prologue of book 2, I don't want to talk about too much because they actually do reveal what Siesta's legacy is. And so we could actually go to the last slide here because I think that it fits. I didn't know a second season was coming. I did this because I felt like it. No, it was only in the 11th hour when looking up pictures for my slides that I came across that not only is a second season announced, it's only a few months away. It's in July, so somehow or another, doing this stream on a show from 2021 has somehow become timely. I don't know how that worked. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I really liked I really liked how the main character, although he like starts out with some of the whole like jaded I know more than you, or I know more about the world than all of you adults. Like, you know, that whole like insufferable teenager bit. He did snap out of any of that pretty quickly. I actually like where the main character is at right now. That he is trying to be a better man, and that he recognizes it himself that he no longer wants to be at a standstill. I suppose we can go back to the second half of the first episode of the anime, because that is also at the beginning of book 2, and so we can do like the full circle bit here. So after the airplane touches down, after the whole hijacking business, Siesta breaks into Kimmy's house, or his apartment. As an unfortunate youth, his parents are gone. Don't know where they went. Allegedly, according to the book, like he's been passed around between different foster care until at the age of 14, which is how old he was when he met Siesta. Because he's a senior in high school now, if that didn't need saying, but he was 14 at the time he met Siesta, and he was living in his own apartment at 14. Don't ask me how that works. But Siesta breaks in using one of her 7 detective tools, the Master Key. But yeah, she pretty much squats in his house. She's like wearing his clothes. She's using his money to order pizza. She really likes pizza. And that she is dead set on getting Kimmy to agree to be her apprentice. While they are in the house, or while they're eating pizza after like Kimmy has his bath and stuff, and she'd even, of course, made the teasing jokes like, maybe I should come in with just a towel, or can I wash your back, and all that, you know, the usual stuff. But Kimmy wasn't having any of it. But they after the bath, he and Siesta are at the table. They're eating the pizza, and she more or less propositions, well, what would I have to do to get you to be my assistant? And he tells her that his school is having a problem with the very tired old seven wonders of the or seven mysteries of the school. It doesn't really hit in the West, but Hanako of the bathroom, the way they described it here was the third floor bathroom, third door in the girls' bathroom, knock on it 3 times at 3 a.m., and a schoolgirl with red suspenders will drag you in. And so the story goes, as Kimmy hears it, that not only is Hanako of the toilet real, people are disappearing, and the number of Hanako cases is multiplying. And he more or less sets that as a condition for becoming Siesta's assistant. He's just like, bet, cool, let's do this. And and so she pretty much forms a plan immediately, which is that she's like, well, school festival's this weekend, let's go. And so they show up at the school on the weekend. Kimmy's by himself, and he's like, I didn't even know the culture festival was happening. Why did nobody tell me? He is, the accusation from Siesta does hold up that he has no friends. It's like, he was too distracted by other things that he didn't know that the school festival was coming up, and 2, nobody told him. So he just had no part in it whatsoever until he shows up day of, and Siesta shows up in a school uniform, and he is once again captivated by her beauty. And so they're looking around a little bit and go like, Siesta has a whole itinerary of things to do in order, because for all intents and purposes, it looks like she wants to enjoy the school festival for all it's worth. And so they get their map from a mascot with a bunny outfit, and Kimmy does notice that it's weird that he's wearing track shoes. The bunny is, but Siesta points at the haunted house, which is conveniently enough using the 3rd floor of the old school building. And so amongst other shenanigans, they end up eating crepes, and that Kimmy being tsundere, like he complains when Siesta wants to get crepes, but he doesn't hesitate to buy her one. And so they do stake out the 3rd floor girls' bathroom, even though it's daytime. They do stake it out, and Siesta does pull up or pick up a little piece of plastic from the ground, which looks like it is a medication capsule. Maybe not a capsule, but like a blister for pills. Like the plastic bubble that has like a peel away back, something like that. She pulls that out and it goes, "Do you know what this is?" And Kimmy says something along the lines of like something from eating lunch alone in the bathroom like this. The CS is like, "Wow, you really have no friends." Yeah, but so while they are in this toilet stall, they hear 3 knocks at the door, and they open up the door for it, and the mascot bunny is there, the one with the track shoes. It sees them and turns tail and runs. And Siesta takes off right after him. Kimmy like follows suit shortly after. And the bunny ends up losing them in a crowd of other bunny mascots, like in a hallway. And because the bunny stops to look around a corner back at them, and Kimmy notices it, he does recognize what it is, but he's still getting a little further away. So then they take a detour, and they're really selling it in this first episode that Siesta is the waifu you want for this show, because they take a detour to go to the costume club, who is like advertising in that hallway, and Siesta makes up I'll call it an excuse, that if who they're chasing is wearing a costume, we should probably be in costume too. It's a pretty flimsy excuse, but yeah, they end up getting to try on clothes for free from the costume club, and Kimmy realizes that he has put on a white tuxedo. He's like, oh, huh. Well, I don't think this is for me, but yeah. But when he steps out of the dressing room, like nobody's even noticing him, and he's like, well, I thought people would at least comment on it, but then he sees that somebody else is getting swarmed, and when he gets through, when he's able to see through the crowd, it's Siesta in a wedding dress. Let me see if I can get that for you, because that should have been on my slideshow, but I never got it. Let's see. Yeah, detective is already dead. Siesta wedding. Okay, we've got a lot here. Yeah, I think in the anime they actually took a picture together. Let's see here. Yeah. Let me hide myself. Yeah. So they go this far to go like, look, Siesta the waifu in this show. Nagisa, nah. Somewhere in the anime direction, they were like, we need to sell Siesta and sell Siesta hard. And they did sell Siesta pretty hard. Yeah, but let's get back on screen. But man, this has been a ride so far, and I'm glad that I've gotten to watch it, read it. I will probably continue watching what's left of the anime when I get through volume 2. Because it looks like there's a whole arc in the middle there that is a flashback with Siesta. So if it's like staying on the same message, like I think it might get really weird for season 2 if they go into the like plot points of volume 2, but they're already soaking up all of the Siesta content in season 1. Like as in they're pulling all of the Siesta stuff from volume 2 to go in season 1. So what are they going to do in season 2? Surely they're not going to start pulling things from like volumes 3 and 4. Surely. Yeah, we'll see. I may have more to say on that. I was originally planning to if the Eagle-Eyed Observer looks at my schedule, I originally slated this for 4 episodes. I don't know how much any of you read light novels, but on average, a light novel will make up like 3 episodes, 4 episodes, sometimes 2 if the episodes are longer or it's or the anime ends up rushing. But this one, I was thinking, I went in going like, all right, well, we'll be generous and we'll say 4. By the time I got like halfway through the volume, I was like, oh, this is going to be nowhere close. And so I threw out on the Twitter post that it would be 6 episodes. That's probably about right to get through case 3. It's not. It's really not. And then you throw in that it's all out of order. So I was thinking I was going to do a second stream to do the back half of season 1, but yeah, that's not going to be the case. If I do a stream again, it's going to be during season 2 coming out. Yeah. But yeah, this has been a bit of a ride, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. I actually kind of look forward to hearing how much I say or stutter or just sit there silently with my thoughts for a little bit. I always feel like when I'm streaming that I'm leaving longer pauses than I am. And maybe it's just that like I'm feeling it when I'm on camera, that I'm feeling that I need to be saying something all the time, and that may not necessarily be true. It depends on what the content is. Yeah. But I did kind of sort of iron out what's going to go on this weekend. So I will be streaming on Saturday. What it is, I haven't decided yet. It is still undecided. I may do something Twitch earlier in the day because I get up early, and I'm sticking to the 6 o'clock schedule on YouTube. So I may just like, I don't know, play like HoloCure or something on Twitch, and just keep the camera on and see if anybody swings by. I hear that exposure on Twitch tends to be a lot better than it is on YouTube, and I will say it's been pretty dismal so far. Like I'll get the stray like, or I've had one comment and I've had one chat message. So if that says anything, either I have no appeal. Let's get that hand up. Either I have no appeal, YouTube doesn't recommend me to anybody because they don't trust me yet. I did check it, and so my options are to consistently stream for roughly 2 months, like consistent uploads, and follow community guidelines and all that. It's either that, upload my driver's license. That's not happening. You are not my employer, and you are not the law. And 3, I could upload a 6-second video of myself, which I was considering doing that because like I'm using MediaPipe anyway for hand tracking, so my face is out there for Google. But I've been going for a month and let's see, it was the 22nd, so I'm like 3 weeks out. Yeah, I'll just stick it out and see if they actually make good on making my account trusted, that it's not spam or AI, which I think is really funny, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. And then the third bit is that Easter is on Sunday, and I will be busy for that. Yeah, and of course I'm not planning to stream tomorrow. I've got other stuff going on, but yeah, until Saturday, I'll try to plan something fun. But I will see you all later.